Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and well, there's been a ton of hoopla recently on the interwebs, on YouTube, Reddit and Battlelog forums with people whipping themselves up into a frenzy over this supposed third assault or veteran DOC possibility for Battlefield 4. Now, in case you don't know what that is, it's not a real DOC, at least not yet, but actually a possibility to uh, a test to quote gauge people's interest, as tweeted by Tigger from Dice, I believe. So people really took the news to heart and ran with it, and it really spread like wildfire. I think Dice kind of painted themselves into a corner with this tweet because now it's gotten way too much publicity for them not to actually release it. Or maybe they had this on the ready a really long time ago, and knew the publicity would spread, so now they are sort of pre-talking about it on purpose. But whatever the matter is, the tweet actually the about this supposed DOC and everything, all the hype around it, actually originally jumped off uh, after a tweet from Westy saying he didn't really like any Battlefield 4 stock maps all that much. So later, Tigger tweeted a feeler, so to speak, of this veteran DLC being the possibility for Battlefield 4. And I mean, it does make a bit of sense because the Final Stand DLC got pushed way back, in fact, to next year, I believe, for Battlefield 4, and so did Hardline. So there is a bit of a void in content in the Battlefield community for the next few months. And if DICE or EA, in fact, doesn't, keep the people's short attention span running, they may start losing players to the likes of Titanfall, which regrettably is lacking players right now, or even Call for Money recycled Titanfall Warfare, releasing this November like clockwork. And obviously, EA is in it for the money. They, you know, they're in it to keep the players coming, buying their games no matter what. They also pissed off a bunch of people when they when the people pre-ordered Hardline and paid for it, and then got told it's getting pushed back 6 months. So a very big "I told you so" from the people that were against pre-ordering in the first place. And I mean, there was a bit of a movement against pre-ordering the next EA game, if you remember, the next big AAA shooter title after after the flop that Battlefield 4 was. It was to quote teach them a lesson, so one they'd never forget. But back to the DLC discussion, I guess. Of course, if this DLC were to happen in the real world, it would still contain certified pre-owned maps from the likes of Battlefield 3. Now, many people are still hoping, praying to that big DICE developer in the sky to grant them more classic maps like Atacama from Bad Company 2 or even maps from Battlefield 2. But I don't believe this will happen, you see, because any older map added to Battlefield 4 has to be converted to the new environment and the new engine, right? And updated to work bug free, supposedly. So, maps from Battlefield 3 are the obvious choice. Anything older than that would simply take way too much time and resources to work properly in Battlefield 4. And in fact, it was if it was true, the veteran DLC would take more time than the Final Stand DLC, which is redundant, going against the very purpose for the new content, which which they want to release right now, I suppose. So, if anything, we are likely to see Battlefield 3 maps make a comeback. And remember, there were a few Battlefield 2 maps reworked for Battlefield 3, so it isn't out of the question that we get some of those as well, because we already got Oman, which obviously existed before Battlefield 3, and to be perfectly honest here, I'm really hoping for Sharky Peninsula, because that was that was one of my top favorite maps. I mean, the helicopter action there could go on for days. It was also a pretty good rush layout. I mean, hell, most Battlefield 3 maps had good rush layouts, and I think that's the reason rush is all but dead in Battlefield 4. Bad map design. But actually, we all know all this, and I've almost turned this video into a rant, and I'll stop while I can here. The reason I wanted to make this video is I saw a bunch of YouTubers started making videos on the weapons they wish would be included in this supposed DLC, because all the prior DLCs for Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 had weapons as well as maps, so we can only hope this one does too, right? So start thinking Battlefield 3 weapons. What would be the perfect gun to make a comeback? I mean, there are many weapons in Battlefield 3 that we like. The M5K, the M16A3, which was an all-around god gun. Some people, myself included, would love to see the AK-74M make a comeback as the ubiquitous anti-Western assault rifle. I myself don't think this will happen because, first of all, Visceral already included the AKM in Hardline, and also because there are much more requested weapons from Battlefield 3, I think. The number one obvious choice, I think, would be an almost unanimous one, the AN-94. It was a hard weapon to master in Battlefield 3, but man, when you did, it was insane. Putting down double tap bursts of 1200 rounds per minute rate of fire, it is said to put 2 rounds into the same spot in real life. Some other weapons, well, let's say we have to choose 4, right? So what other 3 weapons could we choose besides the AN-94? Well, the G3A3 comes to mind as one of the top most beloved assault rifles from Battlefield 3. Maybe the MG36 light machine gun, or the L86A2 light machine gun based on the L85A2. Maybe the M5K, as I said before, which was a ton of fun to use. I think I think it was one of the top most fun weapons in the game. But those are my choices as far as the veteran DLC goes. So leave me a comment, tell me what you think should be included in the DLC, if it indeed happens. And as always, thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.